To write fractions in simplest form, we do what is called reduce them, which means we're going to cancel out all the common factors that the numerator and denominator have. So if I look at 2/4, one common factor that I see right away is 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 4 twice. So as we saw in the last section, 2/4 equals 1/2. And that's as simple as it goes, because there are no more common factors between 1 and 2. Example 1, simplify the fractions. A, 5/20. Well, what factor do they have in common? Well, they have 5 in common. So if I reduce 5 by 5, I get 1. And if I reduce 20 by 5, I get 4, which equals 1/4. Now B, 18/4. When they're both even, the easiest one to take out is 2. So 9 times, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So 18/4 reduces down to 9/2. Now with C, they both have a y in them. Because they both have a y in them, they just kind of cancel each other out. And now, because they both end in 0, I know 10 will go into both 70 and 80. 10 goes into 70 7 times. 10 goes into 80 8 times. So, with the y's gone, 70y over 80y is equal to 7/8. Now D. I'm going to start off with the numbers this time, instead of the variables like I did with C. Well, I know 6 goes into 60 10 times, and 6 goes into 36 6 times. Now, I have 2 x's on top and 1 on the bottom. So I can only cancel 1 x out. That gets rid of that x, but it leaves me with 1 up here. Now with the y's, I have 1 on top, 3 on the bottom. So again, since I only have 1, I can only cancel out 1, leaving me with 2 on the bottom. So now this is getting a little sloppy, so I'm just going to rewrite what I have. 10 x to the first, or x, 6 y squared. Now sometimes you do not simplify it on the first step. As I can see, 2 can go both into 6 and 10. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 5. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So now we have 5x over 3y squared. So now, as you can see, sometimes it will take you multiple steps to actually reduce it to the simplest form. To prevent the multiple steps, when you cancel out factors, you want to cancel out the largest factor. So first, I'm going to start off with 12/40. I'm going to do it the long way first and go with the largest factor. 12/40. The first thing I notice is 2. So 2 goes into 12 6 times. 2 goes into 40 20 times. So I have 6/20. Now I see 2 goes into both of them again. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 20 10 times. So now I'm down to 3/10, and 3 and 10 do not have any common factors, so that's my simplest form. Well, if I would have started out with 4 instead of 2, 4 goes into 12 3, 4 goes into 40 10. So now I have 3/10. You get the same answer, but a little less work. So always try to cancel out the largest factor. Now, one warning about canceling out. You can only cancel out common factors. Factors, remember, are from multiplication. So when I have x times y over x, the x's will cancel out, leaving me with just y. But when I have x plus y over x, it does not equal y, because the x's cannot cancel out, because these are no longer factors, because I'm not multiplying them, I'm adding them. So there is no way to simplify this. So it just equals x plus y over x. Now on to multiplication. To multiply fractions, you simplify any numerator with any denominator. When I go over examples, that will make more sense. Then you multiply across. In other words, a over b times c over d equals a times c over b times d. So now let's do some examples. Example 2, multiply and simplify. Now what I meant with any numerator with any denominator, even though these are together, because I'm multiplying, this only works when you multiply, I can cancel these out. Because this is a numerator, this is a denominator. Well, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. Same with the 5 and 15. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times. Now you multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. The reason why you want to simplify first is because it makes the multiplication easier. Instead of doing 15 times 4, I had to do 3 times 2. Now on to b. Well, I noticed right away, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 2, 3 goes into 6 2 times. Now, I'm just going to multiply across right now instead of trying to simplify to show that you can do it. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18. See, I could have simplified the 2's here, but it's okay if you don't because you'll catch yourself with the answer. That is not in the simplest form. So I'm going to reduce them both by 2. So it goes into 2 once, goes into 18 9 times, and we get 1 over 9. Which, if you would have simplified this, you would have found out. But sometimes it's easier not to simplify a lot at once because of all the crossing out, it gets a little sloppy. Now 5/8 times negative 1/3. I do not see anything cancel out, so I'm going to multiply across. 5 times negative 1. Remember, a positive times a negative is a negative, so negative 5. Then 8 times 3 is 24. Just to double check, are there any common factors between 5 and 24? No. So there is our final answer. Now with this, there's 1a over here, 3 over here. So I can cancel that 1a out totally, leaving me with 2. There's 1b over here, 2 over here, so I can cancel this b out totally, but it leaves me with 1 down here. Then again, 2/4 we know simplifies to 1/2. All I'm left on top is a 1. Then I have 2a squared b. Now with multiplication, you could have put that in any order. I just like putting alphabetical. So you could have had b2a squared, but I think that looks better. That's our final answer. So that is how you reduce and multiply fractions. Have a nice day.